Hi, darlings. Thank you so much for joining me on the Creative Retreat channel today. Today, I have a Bible journaling process for you with the new Treasured Up devotional for November. And you guys, my Christmas heart loves all the pieces of this. So right away, I knew I wanted to use these poinsettias from the stamp set. And I am journaling here in Micah chapter 5, verses 1 through 4 is what I'm really focusing on. This devotional by Christina Fox really makes you reflect and ponder. And I love just the first section when we're talking about Jesus, the promised child who is being born in Bethlehem. So as I was doing my reading and my study time, I went in and did some deeper study in my Bible. On screen here, I'm using the Bullseye ink with the poinsettia flower that is on the stamp set, and I stamp it down once and then I turn it again and stamp it again to get like a full floral. I love how it turned out. I love that because the ink is kind of really stark in some places but really light in other places, it gives it like a little bit of depth. So I love how that turned out. I go ahead and stamp that at the bottom and the top of my page. And then I wanted to do the center, but I wanted something that would really pop off of the red. So I decided to do some embossing. So I grabbed my VersaFine watermark stamp pad. This is a sticky ink that you can use for embossing. And I grabbed the center of the florals and I stamped that on both the bottom and the top floral. And then as I was doing that, I was like, oh, let me use the stars that are also in the stamp set. And there are three of them that come on the stamp set. And I go ahead and stamp those all around the page because I knew I wanted to talk about wonder. And so I thought that would be a beautiful just touch all the way around the page as well. So I do this really fast because I didn't want my sticky ink to dry. I stamped those 3 different stars all around my page. And now I'm going to grab my Ranger embossing powder. This is a Princess Gold color. And I'm just going to add that to the parts where I have my sticky ink. I love this Ranger embossing powder. It's really great quality. I have great turnout with it each and every time. And now you're going to see me fumble with my page. It's hard to emboss and record, but I really wanted you to see the effect. So I get the rest of the excess of that powder off. I set that to the side. I'll add the excess back into the little tub. And then I'm going to use my heat gun to heat up the embossing powder. I love watching embossing powder turn. It's just beautiful. And the trick to it is to really let your heat gun heat up really well at first. So now I'm going to create a tab. I knew I wanted to continue that wonder theme. So from the pattern paper, from the Faithful Digitals, I'm going to cut out the mustard and gold stars. And then I'm going to use a bit of cardstock that I had in my stash. And I'm going to use this tab punch from We Are Memory Keepers to punch out my tab. After I punch out my tab, I'm going to add that to the top of my page, and I'm going to add some adhesive first on the back part and then layer the actual pattern tab on top of that. I also used some of the grid gold washi from last month's kit. I am using that so much, you guys. So good. I even picked up an extra one. And then I'll layer that at the top there, adding some more of that second piece of the torn washi towards the side. Just a little bit more pizzazz. And then I'm going to glue together or layer together 2 of these labels. So I'll glue those as well, a gold and a red. I'm going to add that to the bottom. I wanted to make sure I wasn't covering up any scripture there. So I put it at the very bottom, and I'll add my date stamp to there a little bit later. So for my title for this devotional, I really centered on what chapter 5 of Micah was speaking about. And it was speaking about first of Bethlehem, how it was the smallest of the tribe of Judah, but it would be the one that would give and bring forth a ruler for God. And I love that it said for God, because God was doing this for his will, for the purpose of fulfilling his will. And he was using someone that would come through the line of Bethlehem. And what a wonder is that they he used the smallest A of the clan of Judah, but also he would use a human. He would use Mary, who was going to be a virgin. And on top of that, he would do this in his time, and he would do it for the benefit of all of Israel. The reason this is so important during this time that Micah prophesizes this is that Israel and the people were broken up between two different kingdoms. And so this is the hope that was brought to the people of God, that there would be a ruler that would bring them together and that he would fulfill his promises to him. And that wonder that we must wonder and that we must marvel at is Jesus, the birth of Jesus through the Virgin Mary, given to us to complete and fulfill God's purpose. It's something we should marvel at in this season. And so I encourage you to marvel at that in this season as you are going through the holidays. Here on the page, you saw me add the rest of my title, which is Marvel at the Wonder of Jesus. I'm also adding some wonky hearts, and then you'll see me outline those alphas and also the wonky hearts just to help that pop off of the page even more. In the background there earlier, the first thing I did was add some black splatters. So I love how all together with the gold sparkles that are embossed and the splatters and the wonky hearts just creates a beautiful page, and it just reminds me of that starry night, and it reminds me also to marvel at the wonder of the birth of Jesus and what this season is really about. I'm going to use my VersaFine ink so I can stamp the date at the bottom of here. And that wraps up my page. I am going to give you a last look at what this page looks like. Thank you so much for joining me here on the Creative Retreat channel. Don't miss the other girls. God bless. Bye.